Oh my god.
Yo,
What's good?
what's good? What's good? Happy Tuesday. We got a good one today.
Yeah, today I'm gonna be talking what I have at the top of my mind is bad partnerships. How to basically screen for bad partners and what I would have done differently if I had to relive my whole situation. Uh, so to kick it off, I'm gonna tell a little bit of backstory of what happened and just give you guys context of the last 555 days of my life. Yeah, that's right, 555 days.
Wow.
So, yeah, so as most of you guys know, I have a fix and flip operation, and I actually wanted to scale my operation from Richmond to the 757 area, which is the Tidewater area, Virginia Beach area of Virginia. Met this guy on Facebook. He provided, a good gesture of checking out the flips that I was doing right now at the time, and just to check in on it and provide any feedback for me to do at the time, which was really cool of him. Good gesture of him. That was a good way to start a potential partnership. So fast forward, uh, I end up buying a property with him, and obviously I did some due diligence in front on him. I did some due diligence in the fact of like he's done construction, he's done multiple renovation, he has his own construction crew, and that's all he basically does. I'm like, cool. He also sent me some referrals, not referrals, some references of his past projects, and they all look pretty good on paper and on photos. I'm like, cool. And then I ended up buying a property with him. It's a small little property under 1,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. This property was on 2317 St. Denis in Norfolk, Virginia. And he was telling me that he's going to basically be done within less than a month, and the projected rehab cost was like way lower than I would have expected it to be. And I also got a home inspection on it. Saw all the good things on all the bad things that we need to get done and fixed. And so when we closed on the property, we did 50-50 partnership. And that was a dumb mistake for me because I was bringing all the money in and he was just bringing the construction, really the role of doing the construction, which I can personally do myself. So that's mistake number one for me. I should have just did a JV agreement and had full control of the situation, right? And then, long story short, about a month and a half in, we bought another property, which is my second mistake. That second mistake cost me even more money and more time. We bought a little bit bigger property, like 1,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath still, and they're relatively close to each other. So we were projected to make right around probably 60 to 70 grand if we were to flip these properties together. And then about a few weeks later, he got into some legal issues and then started to ghost me. Started to fucking ghost me, started to not reach out to me, and I was literally I've already paid him a bunch of money for the work that was done, and he was using that money that I paid him for construction to pay off his lawyers for the legal issue that he was going through. And so it kind of left me high and dry. And so I had to fix the first property that I was in for. And long story short, it took like almost 10 months to freaking renovate a 900 square foot property, which is fucking ridiculous. I lost 14 grand on that bad boy. And then the workmanship of that was just so trash. I was like, fucking, I'm done with this. The second property I just closed on last Friday, and I lost 36 grand on that fucking bad boy. But the thing is, all of my lenders got paid. All of my lenders got paid. I just want to make that relevant to you guys because even though you are eating shit, it doesn't matter because my lenders are the source of my business. And so if I screw them over, it gets spread really fast. I'd rather take the L and just lick my wounds and then move forward. But the second property, I had a fucking whirlwind of shit that went through with this one. since he was in his little legal case, he couldn't do anything. He was just basically in paranoid mode. Didn't want to respond to any of my text messages. Didn't want to communicate with anybody because he was in fear of basically getting arrested. The case got dropped. He was, not found not guilty apparently from what he told me. And then he started to come back around. He then I tried to offer him to buy me out of the property, which he said he would for 5K. I'm like, perfect. So he went to get a hard money loan and couldn't get approved and took like basically longer than it should. It took 3 months to try to close this freaking property that we agreed on, initially. It should be for 30-day close. Couldn't get approved because of the case. And then I basically gave him an out, like, hey, listen, would you be able to sign this piece of paper saying that you are released from all liabilities of this property where I'm going to be taking over the loan, paying for the renovations? Like, literally, you're scot free. Like, I just want you out of this deal. He said, yeah, send it over to me. Paperwork and all, I'll send it to my attorney. I'm like, perfect. He basically sends it over his attorney, which I don't think so. And then he doesn't respond back to me for the next like 2 weeks. I'm like, bro, how long does it take for your freaking attorney to review a document? And he's like, oh, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm like, cool, fucking cool, bro. So I just immediately went to go do the renovation just to get that done. And during this renovation, I've had a stop work order on the permits. I had to permit the property. I then had 3 separate break-ins on this property. 3 separate break-ins, and I had one buyer fall through, and then I finally had a buyer that came through.
I don't know if you guys noticed today. This is therapy session for
Yeah.
Phil. This is therapy today.
So yeah. So my learning lessons for this, man, I would say I've been reflecting on this, and if you're about to jump into a partnership with somebody, whether it's fix and flip, any freaking deal, I will literally vet the living crap out of them. And what I should have done, what I know now is like, I should probably call different title companies that have done business or done transactions with individual and just ask, how is it like doing business with this person, first and foremost? That's one thing I should ask. The other thing I should ask is just ask around the real estate networking group. Like if this person is in, Alabama or whatever, let's just say Richmond, Virginia. I'll just ask around the Richmond, Virginia real estate investors. Hey, have you worked with this person? Hey, have you worked with this person? Right? If they say yes or no, they say yes, then I'm like, hey, what was your experience like? That's the second thing I would do. The third thing that I would do is have everything in writing, like detailed as fuck. Uh, and what I mean by that is like me and Tim have a roles and responsibility matrix, right? Roles and responsibility matrix, and we do this by every quarter. So we actually write down the things that we want to be responsible for based on our equity, and then we basically assess if we are at that level. And then if we're not, then the equity shifts. So I mean, I made that up like on the last time. I mean, I don't know if you heard that before, Tim, before me like mentioning that to you
Oh, the
beforehand.
Matrix? No,
Yeah.
I've never heard of the Matrix until we started. Not like the Matrix, like
Yeah.
Keanu
Yeah.
Reeves, but the equity responsibility matrix. Never heard
Yeah.
of that until we started working together.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like formulate, I guess, partnerships in a sense, right? Because you're marrying somebody, like legally you're marrying somebody, even though it's like not technical like traditional marriage, but it's like business marriage,
Yeah,
and it can be very difficult if you have a difficult partner
I
and you
mean
don't know
we have a we had a third partner in our business, right? And we had to break it off. It happens,
yeah,
so it makes
yeah,
sense. But the equity table is really interesting because we can physically see like hands on like how much work we're actually putting into the business versus not.
yeah.
So very interesting concept.
Yeah, and also it's part. You can also tie that into the operating agreement, right? So it's like also it helps with quote unquote meeting minutes that you're supposed to do every single like month or whatever the heck. So we do that every single week. We have an L10, which is a level 10 meeting. You guys can find that on Traction, the book. It's about how to run meetings at a high level and very concise and to the point. So we do that now, and let me just bring this up on the stream. How did I know about the break-ins? Well, I have a real estate agent, and I had basically contractors telling me that, hey, your house got broken in. Oh, hey, there's a broken door. There's a broken window. Hey, there's paint spilled all over the floors and walls. I'm like, oh, perfect. Oh, there's a busted ass cabinet. I'm like, oh, perfect.
Someone went in there, just
Yeah,
ripped it up.
you ripped it up, and I got insurance involved too. By the way, guys, this is why you had to have insurance, and and so I got that kind of squared away, but it's never an easy process. And my mindset during this whole time, guys, yes, I was pissed. Yes, I was furious, but I could not take it out on this individual because this person was so unstable that if I were to trigger him, it could cause more shit for me. And I didn't want that, so I had to suck it up and be the person that, okay, cool, I'm gonna hold this person in the highest possible space and like kind of like project my thoughts of like this person's gonna do what he's supposed to do. And never easy.
Yeah,
Never freaking
dude,
easy.
that's rough, man. I know how you feel, dude. I loaned money to someone that's probably not the most like reputable slash like stable, you know, and um, 50 grand like gone, never gonna get it back. Never, it's never gonna come back, and that's a bad partnership. I just kind of jumped into it, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, I lost 50 grand total roughly on the course of basically 2 years. And I think
Yeah, that's a slow burn, bro.
it's a slow burn. It's
Yeah.
definitely a slow burn. And I finally did the books like last Friday. And I was like,
I bet that
fuck
shit hurt,
me.
bro. I bet
I
that
was
shit
like,
hurt.
oh my God. And then, so now I am making this amazing checklist for people and for myself as a reminder to go through this diligence sheet of mine and making sure I follow my own rules for instance, because if this doesn't sting, then I'm sure the next one will be even more hurtful. So
I
yeah,
think so. After you've experienced this like 550-day saga or odyssey, I would like to call this an odyssey.
yeah,
Um, what do you look for in a partner, and how do you screen partners before you decide to work with them?
dude, I look for like communication first and foremost, and when it comes down to it, communication is like very important to me. So if they're not communicative, like if they're not like open to um, like communicating on a daily basis, then I don't think we should be partners. Furthermore, if they're not open, like as far as you can say, if I have more experience and they still want 50% ownership and they're not taking on any risk, then I'm like, oh, that's a red flag. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that deal with that person. And third, I actually want to understand their background. I want to understand like, do we have things in commonality? I want to understand like where they've come from, how was their childhood. Like, I know this kind of sounds like a little more deep in the weeds, but like, this give
No,
me
that
a
makes
better,
sense.
yeah, better understanding of like how they handle stress and trauma, and like when shit hits the fan, like how is their reaction. Um, and then that's like one thing that I've learned. That's how I would kind of vet my partners. And then the last probably thing will probably be a gut check. Be like, okay, do I feel good about this person? Do I have any hesitation, resistance, reservations of this individual that I can't put my finger on, but I just know it's not a good fit. I think people will know that once they meet people. Like I think that's like a sixth, seventh sense that people have.
Yeah.
And then What was the other part of your question?
No, it's just like, how
Yeah.
do you screen them and
Yeah.
like, you know, when do you decide to like work with them?
Yeah, so I mean, I can just kind of also do a different screen too as well, like professional screening, right? Like I said earlier, like talk to other investors, talk to other title companies, talk to other vendors, see if they work with this person.
Yeah, your due
Furthermore,
diligence.
yeah, yeah. Hence the title of our live stream.
Hey guys, we
Yeah,
didn't. This was not planned. This was
yeah,
not planned.
yeah. Then I would basically vet their. So the one thing that I did not do was vet his crew. Like he hired people off the
Oh my
street just
god.
for labor, just for they weren't even special at anything, just literally for like cheap labor. I'm like, bro, you have this guy doing structural work for $8. Like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's probably why his renovation costs are so low.
Exactly. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I get it now. I
yeah,
finally get it. So I would question everything as far as price timeline because I was like,
yeah.
there's no fucking way that you can complete this almost full gut renovation in 1 month. There's no fucking way. Unless you have like a crew of like 50 people on it, like 24/7, then I can see it. But if you have like two guys and you, no fucking way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I on partnerships, dude, like I have such a torn, you know, thought process on partnerships because there's a lot of people that talk about it, and please like cut me or please
Yeah.
tell me if you disagree or agree, but for me, like a lot of people online or people gurus whatever will talk about, if you are new, partner up with people, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
violently disagree with that. I was on a podcast yesterday. I was speaking with a couple of guys and on a podcast as a guest, and they were talking about partnerships and saying if you're new, you should partner. And I'm not gonna talk bad about them on their podcast, but I'm like no, like vehemently like no, that's I don't think that's right because here's the thing: if you're brand new, you don't know who the fuck a good partner is.
Yeah, you don't.
You can't vet them. You don't know like what they can do, or they can say whatever they want, and you think it's all
Yeah.
gravy because you don't have a bullshit detector yet.
Yeah.
Number two, you don't know what you're good at or bad at. So when you partner up with somebody, like you need to pick someone that complements you and truly like you should round each other out. And if you've never done anything in your career, how do you know what you need? And I'm telling you right now, there's some dumb wholesalers out there that tell me, well, Tim, I go 50-50. I got a sales acquisition guy, and then I do the dispo. And I'm like, so you're giving 50% of your profit for a cold caller? Like, no business does that, right? So it just doesn't really make sense to give up your profit margin, like 50% of your business for like what I'm saying, like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just not leverageable, right? You might as well just hire somebody. Like you could pay someone if you're really doing deals. I could pay someone $65,000 a year as a full-time salary job to do all my dispo and not give up 50% of my business.
Yeah, because if you're doing
That's
like
fucking stupid.
15K deals every single month, yeah,
So you're
that's
telling me like if we're closing six figures a month, you're telling me I'm paying this guy 50K a month
that's
to
true.
sell my deal on Investor Lift?
Just a post.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Hey,
saying? Like,
Carl.
come on, guys. Like, come on, guys.
So what I would say to the very beginner, if you're a beginner and you're looking for partners, I feel like I'm not against the idea of partnering when you are beginning. However, you have to know yourself at a deeper level, at a level where you know your strengths and weakness to like as the best of your abilities and like you understand like, hey,
Yeah,
I'm actually
and
not
things
good at
change.
calling. Yeah, at
Yeah,
least that. And then if you can see that within yourself, then you can find the opposite, and then the other person has to be able to do the work. The internal work is probably the most important part, right? Because business is not fucking easy. There's so many triggers that will hit your buttons. And if you don't know how to regulate your emotions, you can go down a downward spiral. And if you cannot find the other person that can self regulate, then that person may not be a good business partner at the very end of the day. Even though you don't have any skills, even though you don't know any skills, but as long as you know yourself and as you can see what you lack and you find another person that has that strength and skill set and they're very aware of their own, you can say inclinations, then
Hmm.
I feel it might be a good fit. That's the only circumstance.
Skills, right? Skills, culture, and goals.
Yeah, I
Those
would
are
say
like
I would add awareness to that.
awareness, yeah. And that's like, well, you need awareness to figure out what skills you need,
Sure.
right? So I agree. I think awareness is like over encompassing, like foundational,
Yeah.
but you gotta also like have a partner that like has the same damn goals as you, man.
Yeah.
Like, and it's guys, it's okay to outgrow partners as well,
For sure.
right? You start out, you both grow something, and then like you two may not like, or you three, whatever the number is, will want to go to different routes, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
You just got to be self aware to have that conversation when you guys are at that point. Like, if you guys can't communicate, or you don't have the, or first off, if you don't have the awareness to know that you don't want to do something anymore,
Yeah.
that's the first problem. And then two, if you don't have the ability to communicate, there's a lot of animosity that builds.
Oh,
You
resentment.
know,
Yeah.
if you feel like somebody's not doing their job, not pulling their weight, and you
Yep.
don't say anything, like a year from now, you're gonna like fight this dude and like hate
Yeah.
him, right? So you got to be able to like have that conversation.
Yeah. I've had those in my life, and you don't realize it until it's like already blown up, and then you take a
Yeah.
hot moment to reflect, and you're like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that, right? Um, yeah, dude. Partnerships, man.
And we're partners, obviously,
Yeah.
right? So we're business partners, and you know, I don't think you need to know as people. Like, you don't need to like hang out with somebody as long as we did before we partnered up. But I think it helps because
Mhm.
you kind of already know, like, what our personality is.
Yeah.
What type of stuff that we do, and it kind of made it like more natural when we did decide to like partner up on
Yeah.
something.
It wasn't forced.
And it wasn't forced. It was just
Yeah.
like, yo, you do this, I do this. Like, maybe
Yeah.
we can go do something else together, right? Which is kind of
Exactly.
cool. And it's branching off into other stuff too, which is really
Yeah.
cool.
And I
Um,
think like also in that grand scheme of things, like we understood like where our strength and weaknesses kind of collided, where like it made sense. And I would also add like Tim and I are like hard workers, so I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like if he's a maniac, I'm a maniac. We have two maniacs working on the same thing, as we're gonna get pretty far together, right? So,
yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
also refreshing when you have somebody else that's like at the level of like your insanity of just working, and they're just like we're always like texting back and forth of like ideas and like, yo, what do you think about this? Like, yo, I just finished this. Like, it's motivating at times.
Yeah. We're crushing tasks, man. Like
Yeah.
every time we do our EOS L10, right?
Yeah.
We're always knocking down tasks.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing is like if you have two people that both want to, yeah, see, like Noodles laughing, but if you have two people that just say stuff and you have no action doers, guess what? You
Yeah.
don't have a business,
Yep.
right? You're like, oh, we should do all these things, the famous like we should do things. Like, you need to have a partner that's a little more like
Yeah.
grounded, and that's like more Phil's like, yo, dog, like, have you done this? And I'm like, oh, my bad, bro, I forgot. But then I'll do it, right? I just need
Yeah.
a quick reminder.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I'm more of like a pixie dust guy. Like, I'm like all over the place. Um, so, that's where we kind of like work well together. And like, you got to understand like who you're working with,
Yep.
what do they bring that kind of makes you a better person. Like, for me, I genuinely think Phil makes me a better person, like outside of business,
Yeah.
right? If I'm like, wow, I feel really lazy today, I know Phil is working like a dog, so I feel guilty, right?
Yeah. Same
Like,
with me sometimes.
yeah, I'm like,
Oh
God, like
shit.
I know this guy's a psycho working. So, that's the type of thing that I'm looking for in my partnerships, right? I need accountability as well,
Yeah, dude.
and having a good partner is, so important when it comes to that type of stuff.
Yeah, it also fuels your own ambitions because sometimes we all have off days. We have like days that we don't want to work and fuck off. I totally get that. And I'm like, you know what? If I fuck off just today, like Yeah, but if I fuck off the next day, I'm kind of letting Tim down. I'm like, okay, so I just need to work. Like, it's fine. Just suck it up. Just suit up and shut up. Just work.
Yeah,
You
just
know?
work, bro. Joe Desai. Yo, what's up, bro? It's been a long time, man.
Yeah.
Great visionary and integrator descriptions. I'm not a big rocket fuel guy, um, but I do see traits of visionary and integrators. I think we both have visionary tendencies.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really agree with rocket fuel, in my opinion. Right? You can have multiple partners that you just can't have different visions. That's what I mean by like
Yeah.
you got to be aligned. Like when we first started our community, we had problems trying to figure out what the end goal was,
Yeah.
right? But once you kind of figure out what that end goal is, now you're like, okay, like that's what we're striving for, you know?
Yeah. And also, I would add like integrators. I have some integrator tendencies. Cool. But the thing is, like, I'll get up to a certain point, and I'll just pass it off to a real integrator. I'm like, we just hired
Yeah,
like an
CRM
agency.
manager.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like, okay, I got up to this point, like, hey, can you just do the rest? Like, I don't have time for this right now. Like, I just know it's not my
yo,
specialty.
I'm so glad you brought that up
Yeah.
because, in my opinion, right, and this is just Tim, like, I'm not some billionaire guy who wrote a book called Rocket Fuel, but, like, in my opinion, like, integrators are kind of bullshit. Like, no, I'm serious. Like, if you're, like, guys, and I'm not trying to, like, stir the pot here, but if you claim to be an integrator, okay, this is like the new age integrator is go high level manager. How many integrators you see out there on the internet now saying I'm an integrator and I can build automations, bro? We have a whole army, we have a whole agency building us automations, and it's not worth 50% of my business,
Or 50% of my time.
50% of my time,
Yeah.
right? What do integrators do? Track metrics? Cool, my CRM does that. I probably track better KPIs than an integrator anyway because I understand the sales process. I understand marketing. Like integrators don't understand that. So if you claim to be an integrator, I don't know, bro. Like you're not really like if you're not a COO, like you're running operations, like what is that? What are you? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I think they're mixing the term integrator with COO, and Tim is an undercover billionaire. I am not Grant Cardone, okay? We make good money, but we're not billionaires. So,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying? So that was my soapbox for the day.
Yeah. I mean, I would say I have some both because like I think you have to
Yeah,
have some both because you have to
100%.
have a vision of where your life where you want to take your life to go or where you want to go in your life, and you have to have some sort of I guess integration tendencies to like kind of put the pieces together in order for you to
Correct.
reach to that goal. And so I feel like if you're just straight integrator and you have no vision, then you should just go be a job, just be an employee.
Yeah, it's a
And
W two.
that's like perfect for you. But if you have some sort of a little bit of vision and some sort of integration skill, like you're gonna have to have it as you're an entrepreneur. I feel like you have to have both. Um, and I want to actually pivot. Was this you?
Thanks, dog. No, I always pay my rent, dude. Don't worry.
Yeah, you know agents always pay their rent.
Yeah, I always pay my
Yeah,
rent.
dude. So I actually want to pivot on one thing that I don't think people talk about is the finances. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah, dog.
So Tim and I have a shared bank account. A
Yeah, that's
shared,
that's what's crazy about it.
yeah. And we have several tens of thousands of dollars in this account. Now, I am fully trusting that Tim is not gonna one day, one night be like, deuces, I'm taking all the money and I'm dipping out. And he has the same expectation of me, right? And so we both have a basically silent like agreement of like we are going to use this money to scale.
Yeah, we both don't spend it all.
We don't touch it.
Yeah.
We buy ads. We spend money on ads, and
Dinners and
yeah,
hotels.
some dinners, some hotels when we're together. Like we're not obviously spooning, but it's whatever. And then
Questionable.
we spend money on like education and coaching, and like obviously other stuff that helps the community as well. So we actually reinvest that money for our business, and
Yeah,
that
like the agency we hired,
yeah,
like that's
exactly.
for the community,
Yeah.
from the revenue that we get from the business.
Yep, we pay money for Slack, and then also like just to like show you guys how much trust I have in Tim is like he's like, hey, dude, I found this new coaching program that's gonna help us with our community. I'm like, word, how much is it gonna be? It's like 10K. I'm like, all right, you are you good with that? It's like, yeah, I believe it's legit. I'm like, all right, give
Yeah.
me money. I don't care, like
Yo,
whatever.
he literally was like, bro, fuck it.
Yeah, I'm like,
But
fuck it.
like, but then I said I got sold, and
Yeah,
I don't really get sold on stuff much
yeah,
anymore. So like, if I'm getting sold on something, I'm impressed. I'm like,
yeah,
guys, like this is the real deal. But
yeah.
and
And so what did
I
that?
want to know, I don't even have a shared bank account with my wife. They say partnerships in business are like marriage. It's 100% true. Me and my wife
Yeah,
have separate bank accounts. I literally share one with him.
yeah.
So,
It's wild, right? And like we see each other's transaction because we share also a same email too as well.
oh yeah,
So we can see like what's going in and out of the account at one given time. Um, and just to give you guys some context on that investment, that 10 grand investment, like what did that actually get us, right? That got us probably like 6x the return.
it was just confidence, dude. Just needed confidence.
6x the return. I'm like, okay, cool. What's next, dude? Right? Oh, and then he ended up like investing more into like an agency, like a funnel building agency. I'm like, how much is that gonna cost? It's like $3,500. I'm like, is it gonna work? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, do it. Like, I don't care.
I know, I know. I'm like like I said, I'm the pixie dust. I'm like, oh, we should try this, right? But
Yeah,
you know, oh, y'all married? Yeah, we're 100% married, bro.
yeah, dude.
100% married. When you're in a
Yeah,
business, dude, like, and you are tied, like, operationally, bank wise, all this stuff, like, you can sleep in my RV for free. Like,
oh,
come on, bro.
that's the
Come
wrong
on,
one.
bro.
I want to do this one. I want this one right here.
Oh,
This one
y'all
right here.
married?
Yeah,
Oh
y'all
yeah,
married,
yeah.
married.
When you're business partners, bro, you're married, dude.
Yeah,
So
straight up.
you need to really, honestly, guys, like all jokes aside, partnerships, are they can range from beautiful things to just catastrophic business partners, and you really got to take your time, like genuinely, like do not rush into things. Do not just become partners with your friends because you guys are friends. Like I see some of the worst partnerships start off from best friends.
Yeah,
Because if he or she is your best friend before you became business partners, you let people slide. Or your family members, like you let them slide. Like, yo, hey, you were supposed to do this one task. Oh yeah, man, like, and then you're like, okay, like, can you get that done like in a couple of days? Like, you're a lot nicer.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't like do that. If you're a partner, you got to hold each other accountable as hard as that conversation goes. But just don't rush into a partnership because you've known them for a long time or they're just your family. It's not. I'm not saying don't be partners with your family and stuff. Just make sure that it is truly a good fit, and you guys, will put the bullshit aside and be like, hey, a mano a mano. Like you haven't been pulling your weight.
yeah. I mean, to help with that is just retraction. That is a system that keeps accountability to its optimal level for you and your partner, business
Yeah.
partner, that is. That's kind of how we keep each other accountable is like, hey, let's do the meeting every single week. Did you complete the task? I'm like, no. I'm like, shit, I need to get on that right freaking now.
Yeah, we do it right there on the spot.
Yeah, right there on the spot. Like, why wait? Just do it right now. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point with the whole family, family stuff. But I got nothing else for this live for partnership other than the fact of like, I'm free from hell. That's the best part about this week, this new week of mine.
Yes, yes. Let's go. Yeah, dude, I think it's super important, guys. Like, not to talk like everyone's head off, but just think about it. Take your time. Make sure you guys are aligned, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe and comment all the fun things that we're telling you to do.
Smash
Cool.
us like, smash us like.